Please, share.
I used to think I was in control of my life. I had a plan for everything: my career, my relationships, my future. I scheduled my days down to the hour, and I worked hard to make sure things went exactly the way I wanted them to. And for a while, it seemed like I was succeeding. People around me even admired how together I looked. From the outside, it looked like I had a firm grip on life. But underneath that appearance of strength was a truth I didn't want to admit. My sense of control was fragile. I didn't realize how fragile until the day it all started to come undone. It began with little things: fatigue that wouldn't go away, pain I couldn't explain, doctor visits that turned into tests, and then more tests. I tried to shrug it off, telling myself I could push through it like I had pushed through so many other challenges. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. Then came the diagnosis, the kind of news that makes your stomach drop and your plans evaporate. Suddenly, all the things I thought mattered, my schedule, my goals, even my sense of identity, were swallowed by one reality. I was sick, and I wasn't in control anymore. At first, I fought it. I threw myself into researching treatments, second opinions, new strategies. I thought if I worked hard enough, I could fix myself. But no matter what I did, the reality didn't change. My strength faded. My control slipped through my fingers like sand. And when the nights grew long and my body felt weak, I began to wrestle with God. Why me? Why now? If you're real, why would you let this happen? Those questions echoed in the silence, and for a while, it felt like no answer was coming. There were nights when I lay awake, staring at the ceiling with tears running down my face. Fear pressed heavy on my chest. I tried to pray, but the words got stuck in my throat. Sometimes all I could manage was a groan, a whisper of desperation. God help me. And here's the thing, He did. Not in a lightning bolt miracle, not in a sudden disappearance of the illness, but in ways so small and so consistent that I began to realize He was with me, even in the suffering. It started with people, friends who showed up at just the right time, family members who spoke encouragement when I felt like giving up, strangers who said words that touched me in ways they couldn't have known. Then came Scripture. I would open the Bible at random, and verses would leap off the page like they had been written just for me. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Those words in 2 Corinthians 12:9 were not just text on a page. They became an anchor for my soul. In the middle of my weakness, I began to sense a presence, a peace that didn't make sense, a strength that felt like it wasn't mine. It was as if God was whispering, "I see you. I have not abandoned you. I am with you." For the first time, I understood something I had never grasped before. God doesn't promise to take away every trial, but He does promise to walk through it with us. I realized Jesus knew what it was like to suffer. He wasn't a God far away, looking down from a distance. He had walked in human skin, felt human pain, wept at human graves, and carried the weight of human sin. He wasn't absent from suffering. He entered into it. And that truth changed me. Slowly, my perspective began to shift. I stopped asking only, "Why me?" and began asking, "God, what are you showing me through this? What are you doing in me?" The sickness didn't magically disappear. There were still hard days, painful days, and days I wanted to give up. But in the middle of that valley, I began to experience a different kind of healing. Not just physical, but spiritual. Not just the body, but the soul. I started to learn that healing isn't always about everything being fixed the way we want it. Sometimes healing is about finding peace in the storm, strength in the weakness, hope in the despair. And I realized something else. My identity had been wrapped up in what I could do. My accomplishments, my control, my ability to manage life. But when all of that was stripped away, I discovered who I really was. A child of God, loved not because of what I could perform, but simply because I belonged to Him. That realization freed me. For so long, I thought life was about holding everything together. But in the breaking, I learned it was about letting go and letting God hold me instead. I won't pretend it was easy. There were days I still cried, days I still questioned. But even in those moments, I knew God's presence was there. And little by little, my brokenness became the place where His strength shone the brightest. Looking back now, I can see how much I've changed. I used to cling to control. Now I cling to trust. I used to measure my worth by productivity. Now I rest in grace. I used to think brokenness was the end. Now I know it can be the beginning of deeper faith, deeper peace, and a deeper relationship with God.